Vicenç, how are you?
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning or good afternoon. Thanks for coming on the program. For those of you that aren't familiar with Vicenç and Mediktor, if you could give everybody in the audience a quick 60-second introduction around the work that you're doing and who you are.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me and having Mediktor today's HITLAB conference event. For those in the audience that are not familiar with Mediktor, I am the managing director of the New York office of the company, from where we coordinate and lead the expansion of the company in North America, mostly USA, and to a lesser extent, Canada and the Caribbean. And Mediktor, it's an AI-based medical assistant for triage and pre-diagnosis, right? Basically, we empower patients by offering them on-demand personalized healthcare guidance at the first onset of symptoms. And the way we do this is by partnering with key players in the industry. So Mediktor enables health plans, hospitals, health systems to direct patients to the appropriate level of care on a safe, convenient, and cost-effective way. Anytime and anywhere, we work 24/7.
No, that's wonderful. And I know that prior to my time at HITLAB, Mediktor was a participant at one of the Breakthrough Alliance challenges. And it's wonderful to have someone like you come back on the program after participating in that challenge. And obviously, Stan mentioned earlier that we will be having another Breakthrough Alliance challenge at the end of the year as well. So everybody in the audience, please do look out for that. Maybe one day, if you are a finalist, you can appear on the program just like Vicenç here. But you have some wonderful news about Mediktor, Vicenç, around the current expansion you guys are going through. You recently acquired Sensely, and we'd love to hear a little bit more about enhancing your position as a global leader in AI-based health solutions and how you're expanding your reach now to, I think, 35 countries, including the United States.
Yep, absolutely. You're right. So yes, our space, virtual triage, virtual care, it's consolidating very rapidly, right? We are seeing how some of the top companies ceased activity, such as Babylon Health, or here in the States, Bui Health. Other companies like Giant have been acquired by larger companies. And Mediktor wants to play a leading role in this process of consolidation, right? And therefore, our acquisition of Sensely. As you just mentioned, the combination of both solutions brings our solution to a total of 35 countries. We were actually overlapping in a few of them. And I think that the most important thing is that we are increasing our footprint in what we consider are our key countries, right? The first one is the USA, as you can imagine, Europe, as well as Japan. We are becoming leaders in those areas. And I believe that nowadays there is no other company in our space that work with more insurance companies, health insurance companies, that we do, like names such as AXA in Europe, Nippon Life in Japan, etc. are some of the examples of the top companies we are working with, right? And I think that on top of that, there is a point that it's very important, and I think it's relevant for the audience out there that are considering or have launched a digital health solution, right? So the industry is asking more and more for hub solutions versus point solutions, right? So, and this comes from both our clients and our investors, right? Clients, they don't want to deal with 300 tech vendors. They rather work with a few of them, and if possible, only with one. And investors are looking for a scale. So that's the reason of this process of consolidation, right? Looking the search for a scale and hub solutions.
No, absolutely. And there's obviously, a really big push right now in terms of developing, AI in general across all digital health platforms, and of course, with what Mediktor is doing, and the role you guys have around sort of conversational AI in healthcare, which is starting to blossom a lot more, especially in the last year or so. How does that acquisition of Sensely, and Sensely's, of course, empathy-driven conversational platform as well, complement what you're doing right now with Mediktor and the existing AI technology that you're working with? And where do you see that impact sort of going in terms of patient engagement and, of course, ultimately care delivery?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that it's at a number of levels. You mentioned two that are very relevant, patient engagement as well as care delivery. When it comes to care delivery, the combination of both platforms is going to be able to assist patients in more clinical cases, right? Mediktor, it's an AI that it's focused basically in acute and primary care. I believe that the latest number of conditions we cover is 950 conditions. Virtually is all the conditions you are going to find in the emergency room in a Western country, in an urban area. So we are very strong there. And what Sensely is bringing to the table is chronic care, right? What are the protocols, educational content, dashboard for nurses that they can use to track and manage these patients at risk of readmission, right? We are talking about all type of chronic conditions. So that's one thing when it comes to care delivery, being able to assist people in a multiple clinical situations. And when it comes to the patient engagement, I think that what we are hearing is that patients are looking for an experience beyond the typical chatbot, right? And here is where Sensely Avatar is helping us cover that area and provide that empathy that sometimes chatbot misses, right? I think that these two elements are very important. And you mentioned the conversational AI. The conversational AI, the way we consider it, is more of that tool that is going to allow patients have a human-like conversation, right? Able to understand the intent of every utterance when you speak to the machine, and being able to decide whether this is a chronic condition or is it acute care, etc., and everything from a single digital front door, right? Instead of having, again, multiple point solutions, you only have one door of entry for the patients, and they can state with their own plain words how they feel, and then the machine is going to factor in different information and is going to provide you the accurate, the appropriate level of care that you should be going.
No, that's fantastic. Really excited to see where this sort of goes in the future with you guys after this exciting news and these developments that you're making. And just to sort of maybe look a bit further into the future for you guys at Mediktor. I know you just recently acquired Sensely, and that's huge news for you guys, and you're already starting to implement that sort of integration with what you're doing right now. I'd love to maybe hear a bit more about the key areas of innovation that you're aiming to pursue, further, down the line, if you guys have sort of roadmapped that out already, and how those innovations are looking to contribute to, what the advancing digital pathways to health are at the moment.
So that's a work in process. As you can imagine, integrating and putting together specific value propositions, it takes time. Now we have both teams, Sensely and Mediktor team, working together at all levels, engineers, marketing, sales, etc., to start shaping that future, how it's going to look like, right? I think that an important element of this acquisition is the role that Mayo Clinic can play. Mayo Clinic is a well-known and respected brand in the industry. We are very excited to have them on board. in this new phase of the companies, this new stage, because I think that we all agree that Mayo Clinic is arguably the top producer of quality educational content out there, and they have a very strong virtual and digital presence. And this is one of the things that our clients are going to start being able to enjoy, right? That content, this high quality Mayo Clinic educational content that includes a wide array of elements from well-being, self-care, conditions, descriptions, etc. Right. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that as part of the acquisition, Mayo Clinic now is a shareholder of the company. They have a board member, an observer, and they are going to help us with all these strategic insights they have, how we can shape the future together. Honestly, we can't wait to start working with them, shaping the future of patient engagement and care delivery.
No, that's wonderful. And I was going to actually ask you about our recent partnership. That's some more exciting news for you folks at Mediktor in terms of good news that we wanted you to share on the program as well, with your partnership with Mayo Clinic, and sort of taking advantage, of course, of the healthcare and educational content and the strategic insights that they have as well with that partnership. I'd love to ask you a little bit more, since we have a little bit more time, just to sort of round off, Vicenç, about your journey right now, and also with some of the founders that are on the program right now listening as well. Do you have any sort of advice for those that are just starting out, like yourself, a couple of years ago, and how they can get to where you are right now with these partnerships with Mayo Clinics, these acquisitions you're making, and these developments that are coming through for you right now in Mediktor?
Yeah, so I think that everything starts with a good use case. That's the key foundation to be successful, not only in healthcare, when you're innovating, no matter if it's healthcare, education, any other industries, because the use case is somehow what bridges the gap between the product we have developed, right, as a company, and the needs out there from the clients, the pain points, right? I've seen so many companies get lost in this process. Companies that maybe they have a very good product, but they don't find the right use case, or companies that they understand very, very well the pain point, but they are not able to properly leverage the technology they have to solve that pain point. So the use case is key. Why is key? Because it's what allows technology and needs talk the same language, and allows you to start proving that you can deliver, right? Because the technology is very product oriented, right? And the needs, the pain points are every single organization out there. Now, if we go back to healthcare, hospitals, health system, they have their own pain points, etc. You have to be able to abstract from that and try to identify a use case that can be meaningful for them, and you can scale it, right? So if you're able to identify that, no worries, you can start small, right? Start gathering metrics, KPIs, that then you can start show around and go for larger clients, right? But the foundation is identifying the right use case and delivering on that use case, I would say. Obviously, there are other things to consider, but if you ask me for one, I would say try to identify that use case, and once you identify it, partner with the right hospital, health system, insurance company, telemedicine company, you name it, in the industry, in the ecosystem, and go for it and gather metrics, because that's the key, and that's what defines the use case.
No, absolutely. I think that's some really sound advice, especially for the founders that are starting out in the audience now. We're getting some good reactions from some of the folks listening who are taking on that advice. from you. And I think I've time for one very quick question from you, especially to some of the audience members that are maybe not so familiar with HITLAB and Stan, as like yourself. As I mentioned, you were part of the HITLAB Breakthrough Alliance competition a little while back. And for the benefit of some of the folks that are a little bit more unfamiliar with HITLAB and of course with Mediktor as well, how is participating in a competition like that sort of spurred you on to the successes you have now and future competitions that you may have been part of afterwards?
Yeah, so that's a very good point. And actually, I was trying to remember when was that, and I think it was back in 2018. So this is pre-COVID times, right? When we won the Breakthrough Award. So I think that it's very important for one reason, because usually when you start in an industry, we are talking obviously to innovative companies, startup companies, you don't have brand awareness. And that's something that is very important, right? And HITLAB Breakthrough Awards and the whole network can bring you that type of brand awareness. So whenever you are presenting to a key player in the industry, they probably know HITLAB, right? They don't know you, but they know HITLAB. So if you are able to associate your name to an established name, name it HITLAB, Startup Health, Node Health, there are just a few. This is a way how you can start, putting your voice out there and make yourself known in the industry. So I would say that was one of the reasons we decided to participate. On top of that, working with the whole team was great. And even now, from time to time, I touch base with Stan or with former employees from HITLAB, and it's just a community. And it's very important, that piece, the network, when it comes to healthcare, being able to create that network you can leverage it for your conversations with key players in the industry.
No, that's really wonderful, Vicenç, and it's great to be able to have you back as part of the program after your participation. And thanks so much for your insights and sharing that with us today. We know how busy you are, especially with the acquisitions from Sensely and your new partnership with Mayo Clinic. Congratulations to you and the Mediktor team on that. And we're really looking forward to seeing the developments you guys are going to be making over the next 6 months to 12 months. And we'd love to have you back on the program to hopefully share some more good news.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Vicenç.